Randy Orton's future revealed, the real reason for Jacob Fatu's injury, my review of Raw, and more. I'm Luke Owen and this is the WrestleTalk News.
Support WrestleTalk!
Get exclusive videos over on our Patreon.
The Roman Reigns Revenge Tour enters its third week on Friday SmackDown, with OTC looking to, as WWE put it in their commercial that aired during Raw, finish the Bloodline once and for all, which likely translates to destroy Tongaloa for 5 minutes. But one person who won't be there is Jacob Fatu. Fatu went down with an injury at SummerSlam where he hurt his foot diving from the top rope through the announcer's table on the outside. He was later seen wearing a boot in social media images, but there was some skepticism on whether the injury was legit, as he had reportedly been planned to sell some form of injury to ride him out of the final angle on the show where Reigns returned. He wasn't on SmackDown this past Friday and reportedly won't be back until later this month. So, is the injury real or not? Well, according to Sean Ross Sapp on Fightful Select's Q&A podcast, he noted that people I spoke to immediately said, that boot isn't real. And when asked if the injury was done because Jacob Fatu has travel issues getting into Germany, SRS replied, I think you might be onto something. I'm not confirming that, I just think you might be onto something. Someone who can travel to Berlin, and in fact is because they're facing Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship at Bash in Berlin, is Randy Orton. While 2024 has become the year of contracts, one name that has flown under the radar is Orton, despite signing his new 5-year deal back in 2019 after publicly teasing the idea that he might sign with then upstart company AEW. And the reason he's not been part of the discussions was because he was out of action for over a year, and it was figured that injury time would be added to his 2019 contract. However, Fightful Select is reporting that, at least internally, it is believed that Orton has signed a new deal with WWE that will keep him with the company until 2029. While nobody from WWE would confirm that Orton has re-signed, Fightful asked a WWE higher-up why the company would do such a thing rather than add on the injury time. The higher-up noted that the guaranteed money associated with contracts now is a drastic shift from what it was in 2019. This is due to changes to WWE's live event schedule, touring, international dates, media obligations, merchandise, and social media, making it more fair to just reach a new deal with talent. Orton made his return at last year's Survivor Series, and according to Dave Meltzer, we could see a more controversial return at next year's Royal Rumble. Brock Lesnar has not been seen on WWE TV since he was implicated in the Janelle Grant lawsuit against Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and WWE. All his planned matches were reportedly scrapped, and he was removed as a playable character in WWE 2K24. Triple H has spoken publicly about potentially bringing Lesnar back, and Meltzer has written in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter that a Royal Rumble surprise return has been discussed. However, at this time, it's not able to happen. This could change depending on how the Janelle Grant lawsuit goes, as Meltzer notes that as soon as WWE higher-ups and legal give Lesnar's return the go-ahead, it will likely happen very shortly after that point. Before we get into the Raw review, I just wanted to say a quick thank you to everyone who checked out the return episode of Cutscene last month, and the next episode is out this Friday, where I'll chart the death of Neil Blomkamp's unmade Alien 5 and ask who really killed it. Until then, check out my episode on how Disney lied to you about Toy Story 2. While it is true that this line of code deleted upwards of 90% of Toy Story 2 and Sussman saved it by driving her back up to the Pixar offices, this version of events misses off one crucial detail. The Toy Story 2 that code nearly deleted by accident was deleted just a few months later on purpose. This is the true story of Toy Story 2's deletion, and how Disney have lied to you about it. And now it's time for my review of Monday Night Raw, aka the didn't we already do this one episode of Monday Night Raw? In about 5 minutes. The show opened with a lengthy recap of SummerSlam from 2 weeks ago, and then Rhea Ripley came out to recap what happened at SummerSlam 2 weeks ago. She said that Dom stabbed her in the back, but, and he'll have heard this a lot, it wasn't deep enough. He's got a tiny willy, you see. Dom and Liv appeared in the crowd, with Dom revealing that the reason he chose Liv over Rhea was because Liv treats him like a real bloke, a real man. He can have chicken nuggets whenever he wants, he can play Mega Drive whenever he wants, and crucially, she helped him beat Rey Mysterio. Liv told Rhea that she took everything from her, including her family, but Rhea revealed that Damian Priest was standing behind them. They had a brawl and Carlito attacked Priest, only for the former champ to stand tall. Priest then beat Carlito in a decent little match, and the rest of Judgment Day jumped Priest afterwards, and Rhea's music hit and she made the save, and the Terror Twins once again stood tall, with Rhea nearly hitting Dom with the Riptide. They announced later in the show that Rhea and Priest will team together to take on Dom and Liv in an intergender tag match at Bash in Berlin. A smart match, as it gives you what you want to see, Rhea beating up Dom, whilst also saving the two bigger singles matches in the Rhea vs Liv rematch and Priest vs Balor. This took up the opening 30 minutes of Raw and will likely do crazy good numbers on YouTube again. It was more or less the same segment we got last week, but the match announcement was really cool. Bo Dallas said the spirit of Bray Wyatt was with them following their win last week, and Odyssey Jones beat Vincent Winnie from NXT. Vincent Winnie, I think it is, with a Boss Man Slam. Final Testament came out and Karrion Kross told Woods that Kofi wasn't trying to replace Big E with Jones, he was trying to replace Woods. Woods wanted to challenge Final Testament to a tag match, but Kofi took the mic and suggested a 6-man instead. Kross accepted, and Woods continued to be nonplussed about Kingston's actions. American Made beat Alpha Academy in a Texas tornado after Ivy Nile turned heel on Maxine Dupree at ringside, and this distraction allowed the Creeds to take advantage and roll up Tozawa. It was a fun match. Chad Gable cut a promo from France where he said he had unfinished business with the Wyatts, and before the match Otis had a stare down with NXT's Opa Femi and would later accept his open challenge for the North American Championship on NXT, Where's the Story, etc. Jackie interviewed Pete Dunne, who told her not to bring up the name Butch and said that Sheamus was holding him down with that silly nickname. If Sheamus really cared about the boys so much, where's Ridge Holland? Michael called Pete Dunne bitter, but Pete Dunne is absolutely, totally 100% right. He attacked Sheamus later in the night. Sonya and crew unveiled their new name of Pure Fusion Collective, which also sounds like a sponsor for WWE, and they took on Damage Control for the #1 contendership to Unholy Union's tag titles, who remarkably are still the tag champions. Wait, can you smell that? Can you smell that in the air? Smells like they're planning a triple threat for next week's Raw. You know what that means? A bull DQ finish! Pure Fusion Collective may have a new name, but they cannot win for toffees, as they were about to lose again before Unholy Union dove in to cause the DQ. It will be a triple threat on next week's Raw. And that was your only women's match on the card, less than 9 minutes of women's wrestling on this 3-hour broadcast. The match only went 2 minutes longer than the Bronson Reed squash match we got later in the show. Randy Orton came out for a promo and said that he won his first world title 20 years ago, don't ask him who he beat for it, and said that when he wins his 15th world title, he'll officially move to Raw. Out came Gunther, who said that Randy was one of the greatest of all time, but he should be the greatest of all time. He's had so many chances and opportunities, but he screwed them all up. Like his grandfather and like his father, Randy Orton is a screw-up and oh so predictable. Drew McIntyre came out and Gunther, in a rare lapse of judgment, took his eye off the ball and Randy hit him with an unpredictable RKO. Drew then brawled with CM Punk, who supposedly had travel issues, but turns out he was fibbing, and Punk whipped Drew to seemingly set up a strap match between the two of them at the pay-per-view. The Randy Gunther stuff was really good, and the strap match is a great second step for Punk and Drew. R-Truth tried to cheer up Miz by booking him in a match with Bron Breakker, but it turns out he actually got him a match against Bronson Reed, who beat him with the Tsunami in a match that went way longer than you'd imagine. Reed then laid out Truth with more Tsunamis while Adam Pearce screamed at him to stop. They also confirmed Dave Meltzer's report that Seth is taking some time off, and last week's angle was to write him off TV. Jey Uso hyped up Sami Zayn, who then took on Bron Breakker in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the IC title. Sami got the first fall when his veteran instincts caught Bron off guard with a haluva kick, and then Bron fired back and lawn darted him over the timekeeper's area in a fantastic spot. He got the second fall after 2 spears, and after a series of good near falls and ragdolling by Sami, Bron hit another spear on a leaping Sami for the win and the retention. A very good main event, and it was a good episode of Raw. Nothing special or spectacular, and nothing you need to go out of your way to watch, but yeah, it was alright. Now go and watch that episode of Cutscene right now, where I talk about how Disney lied to you about Toy Story 2.